Hello everyone! Good day sa inyong lahat. Kamusta kayo? Marami nag-request ng topic natin for today where we are going to talk about the psychology of pets. Lalong-lalo na ngayong pandemya, studies show that there are many people na nag-aalaga na ng mga pets to keep them company during the series of lockdowns. Okay? Kaya marami nag-request nito kasi gusto nilang malaman kung ano ba yung mga possible effects sa pag-iisip ng tao when we take care of pets. So for today, we are going to quickly talk about the psychology of pet ownership. Oo. So mamaya i-define natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng pet ownership, but for the meantime, dahil tayo ay nag-uusap ng tungkol sa pet, I also have my own pets. Number 1 is si Bruno, yung nasa kaliwa, at yung kanan ay si Lucas. Bruno, by the way, is a, tawag nila doon, asong Pinoy. Pero pinaka-cute na asong Pinoy yan in my perspective. At si Lucas naman ay isang Chihuahua. So, for us, no, Bruno is an outdoor dog. Bihira namin pinapapasok sa bahay yan. Kasi gusto rin naman niya laging nasa labas, no? While Lucas is more of an indoor dog dahil maliit lang siya, Chihuahua nga, mas madali siyang i-maintain or i-control sa bahay. Because Bruno is a big dog, while Lucas is just a small dog, so mas madali siyang i-manage, pwedeng ipasok sa loob ng bahay. Alright? So, anong pangalan ng mga pets nyo? Ilagay nyo lang dyan sa description box. Gusto ko rin malaman kung ano ba yung pangalan ng inyong mga pets. Okay? So anyway, let's define ano bang ibig sabihin ng pet ownership. Pet ownership is when a human being is committed to care for the well-being of an animal. So kapag kinoconsider mo yung sarili mo na responsable or committed sa pangangalaga ng isang animal in your place, then we can say that you are a pet owner. Okay? Or pumapasok ka doon sa category ng pet ownership. O yan yung ibig sabihin ng pet ownership in this lecture. Okay? Now, speaking of having pets, okay, let's have a quick mental exercise para mas mabuhay lang yung lecture natin for today in your minds. I want to think about your favorite moments with your pet. Pwedeng past, kung pumanaw na yung pet mo, ano yung mga favorite moments mo with that pet, or maybe you have your pet right now, ano yung mga favorite activities nyo na ginagawa at the moment. Okay? So, I want you to picture, I want you to visualize those pets right now. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Visualize your favorite moments with your pet. Now, the thing is, kung na-visualize nyo yung mga pets nyo, masasabi natin that generally you saw positive memories of your pets. Right? Many of you felt good. That activity must have generated positive emotions. Naging maganda yung pakiramdam mo. Kasi in general naman talaga, when we talk about moments with our pets, when you recall those moments you were spending time with your pet, positive experience yan. Kaya marami sa inyo, kahit hindi ko kayo nakikita ngayon, I'm sure talagang napasmile kayo or you felt something good within you. Diba? And true enough, kahit makinig ka sa mga experiences of other pet owners when it comes to their pets, generally, positive emotions yung na-degenerate when we deal with our pets. Take for instance the following quotes about having pets. Sabi dito, having a dog will bless you with many of the happiest days of your life and one of the worst. O, ibig sabihin dyan, mas magiging maganda yung buhay mo kapag meron kang alagang dog, no? Oo. How about this one? Sabi ng author, dogs are not our whole life but they make our lives whole. Merong sense of completeness when you take care of a pet. 'Di ba? Yung parang yung level of inadvocacy mo, may mga pagkukulang sa buhay mo, pag nag-alaga ka ng pet, more or less nababawasan yung mga pagkukulang na yon. It is being filled by your favorite pet. Another writer wrote, No matter how little money and how few possessions you own, having a dog makes you rich. So meron ka namang sense of abundance. Having pets can give you sense of abundance na kahit wala ka masyadong maraming material possessions, your pets are enough to make you feel you are abundant. Same picture but different words ang sinabi naman dito. The greatest pleasure of a dog is that you may make a fool of yourself with him, and not only will he not scold you, but he will make a fool of himself too. I think these words, pinapakita dito yung nakukuha nating acceptance from our pets. When we do stupid things that most people will judge us, our dogs will not, or our pets will not. 'Di ba, kahit ano pa yung gawin mo na parang stupid, senseless, your dogs will not, or your pets or dogs will not say na senseless ka or bakit mo ginagawa yan, hindi mo dapat ginagawa yan. They will just accept what you do and take it to the next level. They will also join you in what you are doing. Kumbaga parang nakiki-empathize pa sila sa mga gusto mong gawin. Alright? So, yung mga words na binasa ko about having pets, in general, what did you notice? Most people feel good when they deal with their pets. Alright? So, again, gawin nyo ulit yung mental exercise, no? Alalahanin nyo yung mga favorite moments nyo with your pets, and then later on, as we continue, magbe-break lang tayo sandali, we are going to study what the literature in psychology has to say about owning pets. Ano bang epekto niyan sa ating overall psyche? I'll be back. Diyan lang kayo. So yun na nga, we are in the process of talking about having pets and the possible psychological effects of having pets. Ano bang sinasabi ng psychological literature when it comes to pet ownership? Ano ba yung nangyayari sa psyche natin when we are responsible for the welfare of our pets? Well, ang simpleng word na pwede nating isagot sa tanong na yan is it's generally positive. Okay? Kapag babasahin mo yung literature on pet ownership in general, owning a pet, taking good care of a pet, maraming positive psychological effects na nararanasan yung pet owner. Just to give you some examples of studies which show that, for number 1, according to Friedman and Thomas, kapag nag-aalaga ka pala ng pet, no, you have lower risk of heart attack, you have stronger immune system, and you experience higher levels and frequency of positive emotions. Sa pag-aaral naman ni Siegel et al., ang sinasabi, yung mga merong HIV, mas hindi sila nadidepress, they have lower levels of depression kapag nag-aalaga sila ng pet while they are undergoing their HIV treatment. For number 3, ang sinasabi naman ni McConnell 2011, mas tumataas yung level of self-esteem ng pet owner, which makes sense, no? Kasi your pet has their own way of making you feel important. So, pampataas ng self-esteem yung pag-aalaga ng pet and overall level of happiness. And in a study by Winkler, 1989, this one is among the elderly, sa mga matatanda. Ang mga matatanda pala, pag nag-aalaga ng pet, they have higher levels of purpose in life, they have higher levels of responsibility and security, which are all good for the well-being of old people. Kaya kung meron kayong mga kakilala na elderly, mga lolo at lola, and you want their lives to be a little bit happier, papataasin nyo yung kanilang well-being, one way to do that is to ask them to take good care of a pet. So to summarize all the studies na present ko in my previous slides, more or less, ito yung ating magiging framework. Pet ownership leads to higher levels of well-being. So kung gusto mong pataasin yung well-being mo, which I think lahat naman tayo gusto, no? One way to do that is to own a pet and take good care of the pet. Again, this framework is supported by many studies in the field of psychology. Pero syempre, lalo na yung mga psych majors dito, naiintindihan natin that in psychology, we are not just contented knowing that two variables are connected. Okay, so pag may pet ka, mas tumataas yung well-being mo, okay, next topic. Hindi tayo ganun right? We want to know in psychology what other factors or what specific factor ang makakapagpaliwanag why this variable is connected to this variable. 'Di ba ang tawag natin diyan in research method is mediating variable. Anong meron o ano ang makakapagpaliwanag doon sa link between pet ownership and higher well-being? Yan yung tinatawag nating mediating variable. So in this video, pag-uusapan natin ng mabilis, ano ba yung posibleng variable na nagko-connect between pet ownership and higher levels of well-being. At ang proposal ko dito, kaya connected yung dalawang yan, has something to do with the behavior called giving o pagbibigay sa Tagalog. Ibig sabihin ng giving, meron kang mga resources within you or in your possession na pinapalabas mo from your possession towards other people's possession. 'Di ba? May binibigay ka, lumalabas yung resources mo mula sa iyo papunta sa iba. Yan yung tinatawag nating giving or pagbibigay sa Tagalog. So yan yung theoretically nagko-connect between pet ownership and higher levels of well-being. Kapag meron kang pet, ang nangyayari dyan, pinapakain mo yan, binibigyan mo ng mga necessities yan, napupunta ka ngayon sa isang situation where you will be forced, you will be pushed to give and give and give to your pet. And as you do, as you give your resources to your pet, yun ngayon yung nagpapataas ng iyong overall psychological well-being. Kaya ka sumasaya, kaya bumababa yung blood pressure mo, kaya ka nafe-feel good because you are constantly practicing giving to your pet. And anong logical reason ang meron tayo para maniwala sa framework na yan? Well, tanggalin lang natin yung variable ng pet ownership and just focus on the relationship between giving and higher well-being. Did you know that this is one of the links in psychology that is very well established? The more a person gives, the more that your resources travel from you to other people to benefit, mas tumataas yung level natin of well-being. Like for instance, kung gusto nyong basahin yung study ni Post et al, no? Ito yung tinatawag nating altruism studies Ang dami-dami ng mga pag-aaral na ginawa on altruism. Altruism, to make it simple, it's about giving, offering yourself as service or giving your resources to other people without expecting anything in return. Yun yung altruism. The more altruism people practice, studies show na mas tumataas talaga yung ating overall well-being. So as human beings, one way to increase our well-being is to train ourselves to give and give and give to those people around us who are in need. Another study I highly recommend that you can read para mas makita nyo yung link between giving and higher well-being is the one by Mary Harris, no? The effects of altruism on mood, wherein in this study, sinasabi nga niya na kapag ang tao bigay ng bigay, nagbibigay sa mga taong nangangailangan, nag-i-improve yung kanyang overall mood. From negative mood, it has the power to make it more positive. And this idea na yung altruism o yung pagbibigay natin sa ibang tao merong positive effect in our psyche is biblically confirmed. May mga passages in the Bible, number 1, that promotes the behavior of giving, and number 2, explain how giving will affect us spiritually. And the effects are good. Like for instance, sinasabi yan sa Isaiah chapter 58 verses 7 to 8. Share your food with the hungry and give shelter to the homeless. Give clothes to those who need them and not hide from relatives who need your help. Ano lang natin ayan. Then your salvation will come like the dawn, and your wounds will quickly heal. Your goodness will lead you forward, and the glory of the Lord will protect you from behind. In another passage, still in Isaiah 58, feed the hungry and help those who are in trouble. Ang sabi. Then your light will shine out from the darkness, and the darkness around you will be as bright as noon. The Lord will guide you continually, giving you water when you are dry, and restoring your strength. You will be like a well-watered garden, like an ever-flowing spring. So, bottom line nung mga biblical passages that I've read is, the more you give, the more you offer service, the more you offer your resources to other people, good things happen to you psychologically. Good things happen to you spiritually. Alright? That's the bottom line. Giving leads to higher well-being. Now, wag natin kalimutan yung currently pinag-uusapan natin. Let's return to the psychology of pet ownership. Again, studies show that owning a pet increases overall well-being. Ang tanong, bakit? Ano yung proposal ko? Because when you own a pet, it places you in a giving dynamics. Ito yung tinatawag kong giving dynamics. Ibig sabihin, kapag ikaw meron kang pet, talagang yung setup nyo, you will be quote-unquote forced to give and give and give to your pet if you want your pet to survive. Right? So ano ba yung mga bagay na bigay ka ng bigay sa pet mo? What are those resources that you keep on giving to your pet? Siyempre, food, resources, time, attention, affection, concern, all these things, araw-araw, if you have a pet, okay, hindi lilipas ang isang araw na hindi mo binibigay yung mga yan. Diba? So, whenever you own a pet, it will really place you in a position where you will be pushed to give your resources to your pet para maalagaan siya ng maayos. O, diba? And now, we remember the framework that we have been discussing a while ago. O, kaya pala, yung well-being mo tumataas kapag meron kang pet. Because, as a pet owner, you care about your pet, no? Gusto mo yung pet mo, maganda yung buhay, it pushes you to give more of yourself to your pet, and as a result, that increases your overall well-being. Okay, so that's what science, that's what psychology has to say about the connection between pet ownership and higher levels of well-being. So after all these things na pinag-usapan natin ngayon, ano ang mga lessons about the mind that we can learn, that maybe we can apply in our everyday life para mag-improve yung ating overall psychological well-being? We'll talk about that after this. So bago natin tapusin tong video na ito, let's talk about the important lessons that we can learn from these ideas that we have been talking about the psychology of pet ownership. Dalawa lang naman. There are two lessons about the mind that we can learn, and both of these lessons revolve around the psychological importance of giving. Okay, so ang una nating ang essence, ang pinaka-istorya nung pinag-aralan natin ngayon is that giving is a very important psychological activity. Kaya kinakailangan talaga, isa sa mga priorities natin sa buhay natin, if we want to improve our psychological life, is to train ourselves to give more. Alright? So anyway, ano yung dalawang lessons that are important in connection to giving? Number one, I hope you realize that the mind is designed to give. Let me repeat, the mind is designed to give. So, disenyo ng ating pag-iisip, ng ating psyche, na dapat tayong magbigay. That's the way God created our mind. No, our mind is in constant search of other people that we can help. We are designed to give. And when we act according to our design, good things happen to our psyche. Kaya nga sinasabi ng Proverbs 11:25 yan. Thousands of years before scientific psychology, a generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Good things happen to our mind when we follow its design, and one of its design is that it is designed to give resources to those people who are in need. And again, we remember those studies na pinag-aralan natin kanina, no? Anong ibig sabihin ng refreshed? Kapag nagbibigay ka, sabi ng Proverbs, you become refreshed. It means yung mga following components of our life becomes refreshed. Our health, our emotions, our relationships, our spirituality, we become closer to God when we give ourselves for others. All of these things are refreshed. At ano mangyayari pag lahat yan refreshed? Then, nag-i-improve yung ating overall quality of life. So again, we remember that framework na kinonfirm na totoo ng science, no? That giving increases your well-being because the different aspects of your psyche are refreshed through your giving. You want more psychology into this? Take for instance yung sinasabi ni Abraham Maslow. According to Maslow, if you want to have a healthy mental well-being, you need to give yourself the different needs in the hierarchy. And one of the needs na dapat meron ka, sabi ni Maslow, is love and belongingness. But here's the point. How do you get love and belongingness? You don't demand love and belongingness from others. You don't demand love and belongingness from the world, which many people do. Kaya ang ending, nafu-frustrate sila because it's not the way it works. The best way for you to get love and belongingness is to first give love and belongingness. Yung binibigay mong love and belongingness sa ibang tao, okay, babalik yun sa'yo. Kaya nga, if you apply that framework, okay, getting love and belongingness by giving love and belongingness, you apply that framework in the context of pet ownership, we come up with this framework again. So you take good care of the pet, that will force you to give more of yourself for the pet, and what happens? Binabalik sa'yo ng pet mo yan. I mean, the pet owners listening to me, diba? I'm sure na feel nyo yan. Our pets have their own way of making us feel love and belong. Tama ba? Ilagay nyo sa description box kung ano yung mga paraan ng pets nyo on making you feel loved. Diba? Iba-iba ng paraan yung mga pets natin, but the bottom line here is they have their way. And the reason why they're doing that to us, why are they making us feel they love us, is because we first loved them. We first gave resources to them. And when we receive that love from them, when we feel the affection that they are showing, that leads to our increase in well-being. Talagang tataas yung well-being mo kapag nafe-feel mo na merong nagmamahal sa'yo, both human being or a pet. Diba? So that's the framework that we are talking about in point number 1. Alright? So our mind is designed to give. And number 2, ito, another application or lesson we can learn for today is, if we want to improve your overall psychological life, you need to change the wrong receiving framework. Kasi sa kultura natin, mas uso kasi yung receiving framework than giving framework. Our materialistic culture has trained us to think that it's more important to receive than give. At ito, kasalanan ito ng popular psychology, lalong-lalo na yung mga quote-and-quote motivational speakers who preach extreme or radical self-love na hindi maganda sa ating overall well-being. Like, they make you believe these words are true. Diba? Yung mga kasabihan na, I deserve the best and I accept the best now. Or, you deserve all the best things life has to offer. Again, hindi ko naman sinasabing totally mali yan. Totally mali ang mag-receive from life, but it must not be your ultimate priority. Because the moment that you consider receiving your ultimate priority in life, hindi nagiging maganda ang epekto niyan sa ating overall psychological well-being. Unfortunately, many people today falling victims to that kind of framework, they suffer mentally. 'Di ba? Ang priority nila is, wait, I need to receive first before I give. Oh. Tapos makakarinig ka pa ng mga kasabihan na, paano ka naman magbibigay kung hindi ka muna tatanggap? Again, it sounds logical, but not all logical is true. 'Di ba? Ang buhay, it's not really primarily designed for receiving. Life is designed more towards giving. So, for those of you na ganito ang framework, mas pinaprioritize mo yung receive muna bago mag-give, you have to reverse it. You see? We are not saying na masama ang mag-receive. Okay rin ang mag-receive. But to receive is a second priority to giving. Dapat giving ka muna bago ka mag-receive. Diba? The great psychologist himself, Jesus, said something about that. Diba? Ano sinabi niya? It is more blessed to give than to receive. This is true for our spiritual life. This is also true for our overall psychological well-being. Between receiving and giving, mas pinaprioritize mo dapat, mas binibigyan mong importance yung pagbibigay more than pagtanggap. And you can apply this in different aspects of your life, including, for example, your relationships. Diba? Pagdating sa relationships nyo, marami mga tao ngayon, palpak ang relationships because they have this kind of framework. Receive first before give. But a healthy relationship is a relationship where both parties in that relationship prioritize giving more than receiving. In the words of Anthony Robbins, ang ganda ng sinabi niya, some of the biggest challenges in relationships come from the fact that most people enter a relationship in order to get something. I agree. Many people today, especially young people, you ask them, bakit ka pumapasok sa isang relationship? Ang sagot, selfish motives. Kasi gusto ko sumaya, kasi gusto ko may magmamahal sa akin, kasi gusto ko merong tatanggap sa akin. Again, all of those things are not bad. Especially when those things are not your priority. 'Di ba? To serve yourself, to make yourself feel good is not the primary reason or must not be the primary reason why you enter a relationship. You want to enter a relationship because you see that relationship as a place where you want to help another person grow, where you take responsibility for the welfare of another person, for the growth of another person. Anthony Robbins continues, ang sinabi niya, in reality, the only way a relationship will last is if you see your relationship as a place that you go to give and not a place that you go to take. In other words, if you really want to improve the way you connect with other people, one way to do it is to modify your formula in the way you relate with other people. And what is the best formula that we can use to improve our relationships with others? The things that you give must be greater than the things that you take. Dapat yan ang priority mo. Pagising mo sa umaga, ang una mong iniisip, ano ang pwede kong ibigay sa mga taong mahal ko today? Para second priority mo na lang, anong matatanggap mo? No? Dapat ang nagdo-dominate sa pag-iisip mo is more on what you can give, more than what you can take. And to connect this idea to our current topic for today, our pets, our beloved pets, whether that's a dog, a cat, whatever pet you have, is a good training place to teach ourselves to be more giving. I think that's what pets teach us, right? They teach us how to be giving. They teach us the reality of life, that to give is more blessed than to receive. Alright, so kung meron pa kayong ibang kwento tungkol sa mga pets nyo na gusto nyong i-share, paano sila mag-express ng love sa inyo, ano yung mga favorite moments mo with your pet, don't hesitate to put a comment doon sa comment section, and I'm going to read all those comments if we have time. Alright? So thank you for listening, everyone. Love your pets. It's good for our minds. Have a great day and God bless.